And we're joined now by Jonathan Karl, who has a preview of an ABC News exclusive for us. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Matthew. I just got back from Jackson Hole, where I sat down with former Vice President Dick Cheney for his first interview since he underwent heart transplant surgery in March. And take a look right here. That's Cheney before the surgery on the left, and during our interview on the right. You can see what a difference a new heart has made for the former Vice President's health. In our interview, Cheney opened up about the surgery and about life after politics, but his comments about selecting a vice president and John McCain giving the nod to Sarah Palin 4 years ago were particularly enlightening. Take a look. How important is it for him to do this in a way that is different than the way John McCain handled his vice presidential surgery?
Pretty important. That one I don't think was well handled. And I sort of think of it as there are two lists. There's the big list that's got a lot of folks on it. I actually, when I was doing it for, I did it for Ford in '76, but then again for George W. Bush in 2000, I had a couple of calls from prominent politicians who'd say, you know, it really helped me in my race back home, Dick, if I was on the list. Done, you're on the list. Then somebody could go leak the fact that they were on the list. But that was the big list. It was easy to get on the big list. The tough part is the small list, the one that's really under active consideration. And the test to get on that small list has to be, is this person capable of being president of the United States? And that's usually a very, very short list.
What about the other considerations? Can you bring a state? Can you reach out to a specific demographic, woman, Hispanic?
Those are important issues, but they should never be allowed to override that first proposition. And I think that was one of the problems McCain had. I like Governor Palin. I've met her, I know her. She's an attractive candidate, but based on her background, she'd only been governor for 2 years. I don't think she passed that test.
Of being ready.
Of being ready to take over. And I think that was a mistake.
For more from my interview with former Vice President Cheney, tune into GMA and World News and Nightline tomorrow. Matthew.
John, fascinating interview. He's going to probably take some heat for the Sarah Palin comments.
So, yeah.
Rather frank throughout to you. Is this what we can expect from him going forward?
No question. Cheney is back. He feels much better. He says he hasn't felt this good for years, and he is certainly not holding back. You'll hear what he said about Obama. Some of his harshest criticism yet tomorrow.
Well, down to the wire now for Mitt Romney's selection or needed selection of a vice presidential running mate. Where do we stand? Have we learned anything new?
Well, it's hard to say exactly where we are, but here's my top tier, and I think this is likely where you're going to see the pick coming from. You have Rob Portman of Ohio, of course, Tim Pawlenty of Minnesota, but take a look at my third person in that list, Paul Ryan. I believe that most people looking at this have been underestimating the chance that Paul Ryan could be the pick. You know, the Ryan budget will be attacked immediately by Democrats, of course, but the attitude up in Boston, and I am told within Romney's inner circle, is they believe that they're going to get attacked for that anyway, and that Paul Ryan is the person who could best fight against those attacks. Romney really likes Ryan. I think there's a good chance he's the pick.
They've kept their cards exceedingly close to the vest with a few leaks or no leaks at all. What do we think the timing is going to be? There was some sense it was going to be before the Olympics. Obviously, now we've moved forward. Where are the timing?
Well, I can tell you this, Matthew, that some of the people on the list, some of the people under consideration have been told to be ready as soon as Romney comes back from this international trip. Doesn't mean that the pick would come immediately when he comes back, but they are in standby mode. I think this is going to come considerably before the convention.
So we'll see this before the question. Do you think they've already sort of got staff in place so that whenever that pick's made, they're going to hit the ground running?
They certainly have staff in place, and they are ready to go. And I can tell you that those that think that they have a chance of being picked are ready to go as well. And look, we could have somewhat of a surprise. Marco Rubio is still out there, Kelly Ayotte is still out there, but whoever it is, they are ready.